It has been truly devastating to see how the injury bug has been tormenting the Orlando Magic. It kind of reminds me of the situation in Philly, except no one really had much faith in the 76ers going far in the end. After taking one of the top teams in the East to 7 games in their playoff series, I instantly bought hella stock in the Magic, knowing this was just the beginning of something truly special. They started this season with some serious momentum, but losing their two stars to injury currently has them at a crossroads. Will the role players be able to step up and carry the load, or will they struggle in the absence of their superstars? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth NBA analysis. The Orlando Magic have pretty much been flying under the radar for a while now in the NBA and haven't really demanded much attention. That all changed last season when they finished 5th in the East and had a winning record for the first time since the 2018-2019 season. Not to mention they took a really good Cavaliers team to 7 games and came really close to advancing to the semifinals again after a 13-year drought. Even though they lost the series, this was the confidence booster this young team needed to get back on the path to success. We all got a chance to witness Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner evolve into stars and receive the recognition that they deserved. The Magic were down 0-2 heading home to Orlando for Game 3, and that's when Paolo decided that his team would not be swept in this series. Paolo gets the ball in the post with Mobley defending him closely, and after backing him down for a few, he raises up with an off-balance one-legged fadeaway that swishes through. Paolo is just throwing around his weight in this clip, and showing you how he uses his strong frame to create separation in the mid-range. He sets a screen on Mitchell to force the mismatch so that he can post up in the mid-range. Allen then switches onto Paolo to put a bigger body on him, but Paolo lowers his shoulders into him to create space for a turnaround jumper. When I watch Paolo play, he reminds me of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with the frame of Jason Tatum. Just like SGA, Paolo's dominance in the mid-range really opens up the court and allows him to score from virtually anywhere he chooses. Paolo takes the screen and Mobley sags off a bit. He takes advantage of it and steps back to knock down the open three. Paolo wasn't alone in his efforts. Franz Wagner stepped up big time and proved that he can be reliable at crucial moments. Franz, just like Paolo, is able to create space and keep defenders off balance with their guard-like handles at 6'10". Franz drives downhill immediately off the screen and uses a nice little spin move to send Niang to the floor, and he finishes with a soft touch on the floater. With his ability to score from all 3 levels, the defense often has to play the guessing game on how to correctly guard Franz. Here, they set a ghost screen for Franz, then allows him to work in the ISO. Mobley gives Franz some space since he'd been dominating on the inside this game, but that decision leads to a knockdown 3 in rhythm. Paolo, Franz, and Suggs put up a combined 75 points to force a Game 7. Suggs proved that he can come up big on both ends in the game with their season on the line. Will he be the next man up for Orlando during this tough time? We'll talk more about it later in the video. Here, Suggs dives to save a bad pass from going out of bounds. He immediately jumps back up to save another pass from going backcourt. With only 2 seconds left, has to shoot from damn near half court and swishes it through. Paolo started this season on a mission, and it seemed like this was the beginning of an MVP type season. In their first game versus the Heat, he put up a 33-point, 11-rebound double-double and a 19-point victory on the road. 3 games later, he put up a 50-point, 13-rebound, and 9-assist masterclass in front of the Orlando crowd. He was 1 assist shy of becoming only the 12th player in NBA history to have a 50-point triple-double. This is a prime example of why it's so hard to guard Paolo. If he's driving to the hoop, he's going to overpower you with sheer strength and a little finesse, but if you sag off, he'll just shoot right over you. Here, he just drives into Siakam and absorbs the contact to finish the and-one opportunity. The Pacers were doing everything they could to stop Paolo driving to the hoop and getting in rhythm from the mid-range. So what did he do? He calmly dribbles the ball up the court and notices that Turner is defending him from the free throw line. He simply raises up and knocks down the open 3. Paolo is no slouch on the defensive end as well. His 7-foot wingspan causes multiple disruptions and denials during any given time in each game. Halliburton makes a fundamental mistake and leaves his feet on the cross-court pass, and Paolo reads it before it leaves his hand. Paolo then dumps it off to Wagner ahead on the break for an easy dunk. All eyes were on Paolo after this performance, and it had fans paying a lot more attention to the Magic. This was all immediately put on halt after Paolo suffered a torn oblique in a game versus the Cavs. They ended up losing that game, but more importantly, they were losing their superstar for some significant time. Who will be the next man up? Who can this team lean on when the going gets tough? Franz stepped up big time in the absence of Paolo and silenced any doubt about whether he could perform in high-pressure situations. Ever since Paolo went down due to injury, Franz has been averaging an impressive 26 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds per game. This impressive stretch was quickly cut short on December 6 against the Sixers. After a stellar 30-point performance, Franz is diagnosed with a torn oblique, the same injury as Paolo. The Magic are back at square one, having to ask the same question all over again. Who can this team lean on when the going gets tough? Jalen Suggs answered the call and stepped up in the absence of their two best players. Right here, Suggs shows off his fancy footwork as he twists and turns to create separation for a turnaround jumper. Suggs must be practicing ballet in the offseason to pull off something like this. He drives baseline and bumps the defender out of bounds. He keeps his balance to avoid going out of bounds too, then pumps fake to fool the defender, then lays it up. I love the decisiveness he shows on this drive. He knew exactly where he wanted to go and how he was going to get there. Suggs waits for the screen to be set and drives hard to the right. He then hesitates for a second to confuse the defender, then quickly goes left with a between-the-legs dribble and is able to finish with a tough and-one layup. I also love the contributions from Cole Anthony, Anthony Black, and Goga Batazde. The Magic played like a cohesive unit this game and was able to persevere in a game that came down to the wire. Booker drives hard to the hoop and tries to pass the ball to the big man in the paint. Anthony steps in front of the pass and starts to break. No one decided to stop the ball, so Anthony pulls up from three and drains it. Black takes the screen from Goga and hits a quick behind the back on Beal at the free throw line to create space for a nice midi. This was the dagger right here, and a perfect example of being at the right place at the right time. Goga hands the ball off and sets the screen for Black. Black drives right to the hoop but misses the layup. Goga is able to tip the ball back into the hoop after the roll to the basket. Despite losing this one to the Bucks, the Magic made the Bucks earn this win and they fought hard until the very end. Orlando sets up their offensive set and swing the ball around. Howard drives hard to the free throw line, which draws the attention of two Bucks defenders. Since Mo Wagner's man is sagging off, he just raises up and knocks down the wide open three. Suggs and Goga run a high pick and roll, and Suggs feeds Goga on the cut to the basket. Goga disregards Giannis' existence and puts him on a poster with a statement dunk. Suggs must have activated takeover mode because he was cooking at this point. Suggs hits the defender with a nice snatchback cross to create space. He then follows up with a shifty size-up dribble into a crossover that gives him enough space to pull up for the clean midi. If you ask me, I think the Orlando Magic will be able to weather this storm until their stars are healthy again. Suggs, Anthony, Goga, Black, and Mo Wagner have all contributed greatly so far, and they appear to be a solid squad. With Paolo and Franz being out until at least January, I believe they will finish the month 3-3 over the next 6 games. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are the Magic cooked, or can they hold it down until Paolo and Franz return?